Hello, my name is Bengt Hansson. I'm working in Supplier Development in Purchase Department, and I've been doing that for 2.5 years. Before that, I have a lot of experience from Scania internally. I worked 39 years mostly in production, and that is what we go for. And for that, I also have been working 32 years as manager in different levels. As personal opinion here, I am in this job with working with supply development using all my experience that I've learned at Scania and all the jobs I've had, doing a good job with our suppliers. And in this presentation I have a couple of slides that I will show you, and I will also tell you how we are doing, how we are organized, and how we are doing with this supply development work to get good suppliers and sustainable suppliers. We are organized in a support function in purchasing, and this support function is organized in different levels, but one part is supplier development, and we are aiming for a proactive work and long-term development of supplier, which will give us a long-term and reliable and competitive partners. We have different kind of suppliers when we speak of supply development. It could be a company, a supplier company which have 50 people. It could also be a company in our own size with 50,000 or up to 100,000. So it's a very big range of amount of employment with our supplier. Who are we? We are 4 persons with in our group, which call ourselves advisors. We have Mats Flodin, Bengt Hansson, Henrik Arneskog, and Peter Hermansson. And you can see on the slides our experience and what we have done historically. Our profile is we have been managers in different levels, in different positions, in different areas in production. And that experience is about 120 years in total together. And we are all managers, as I said, and we are still hungry for doing work. That is the main issue. Me, myself, I have been working at Scania since 1980. That means more than 41 years. I have been working with process engineering and with machining, with assembly, with foundry, painting. And before I came to purchase, I was working in a central function we call Global Industrial Development, that I was manager for expert for 5 years. We want to go from problem solving to long-term development with our supplier. And what do we mean with that? We want to avoid those risks you can have in different areas with quality, finance, or delivery. Mainly, we also want to decrease the cost. But today, it might not be the most important thing. It could be also to secure capacity and secure delivery, not only for the direct supplier, which are about 1,500. It could also be to their suppliers. And we are supporting and identifying implementation long-term improvement at our supplier. We are developing supplier to competitive partners. We can also make an evaluation of the supplier. Scania have been working a lot historically with quality. Now we want to take a bigger range. We want to go from the reactive work to proactive work. And this means that we need to understand the situation at the supplier and the challenges they have to be a supplier to Scania. What do we base our work on? It's mainly support, and we do it as to be present at the supplier as coaches. We are also giving them trust. we give them our experience, and then there it comes, we have done the job. We also need to be transparent with our supplier. We need to give them feedback in a professional way, what they are good in and what they need to improve. And of course, to have a very good dialogue with the supplier, that is crucial. And together with that, we offer training. And that means that we need to be a pedagogic person when we go to a supplier. We have a process which we are using, as you can see on the picture, going from the left to the right. And as I said before, it's about 1,500 suppliers. We are not working with all of them. You can see in the first part we speak about selection. And for the moment we are working with about 30 suppliers, which could be 8 or 10 cases per person. And that is our capacity for the moment. And you can see then it's very important that the selection goes in the right way, because if we have 1,530 of them we are working with, we are only working with a few of them. A very important thing after the selection is to go to a supplier, I will describe that later on, but also to get a commitment at the supplier, so they are accepting that we are there working together with them. When we have done that, we go and find the potential in the process and describe the current state and the improvement possibility. When we agreed upon that and describe that, we go also for the implementation. And after the implementation, we are doing, when we are ready, when we close the case, we make what we call lesson learn. And lesson learn is in 3 different areas. We do it for ourselves to evaluate our own process or evaluate our own way of working. We do it together with a purchaser, because we are working with the line organization and purchase. We are supporting them with their suppliers. So we do a separate lesson learn with them, but we also make a third lesson learn. That means together with the supplier. What have we learned together? This is the process that you can see in the picture, very roughly described. And we can also do a part of that, that is valuation. Because this supplier development process could be about 6 up till 24 months, that means 2 years. And then supplier evaluation is the shortcut to go to the supplier and evaluate them. Could be 5 to 8 days. And I will repeat it again. The big thing is that we understand the challenges and the problem at the supplier, or the possibilities. On the next slide, I will speak about what we are doing when we start. If we get a selection and we go to a supplier, we go there and we want our purchaser to help us to get the right people. So we meet the right people. And then we always start from the top of the organization. You know, when to change a company or to develop a company, you need to be anchored high up in the organization. You don't clean the stair from the bottom up, you clean the stair from the top to the bottom. So we have a couple of items that we go together with the owner or the CEO and the management group and interview them. Sorry for looking in the material now, but I need to do that. We are asking them about their business plan and how they are working with the strategic way of thinking. And we also ask them what they want to do with their investment, because it's very crucial that we understand what they want. It's not a business. They could have other suppliers. Mostly they have. We are not alone with the supplier when we speak about this case. We look at their target, how they break it down, and they also how they follow it up. We look at the operations. We go through that, and how they are reporting and how they are working with project. And then we also take a look at the deviation handling and how they make escalation, if they have that kind of processes, and how they are taking care of the improvement work in their company. And this we connect and theoretically go through, and we go and see and walk through the system, their flow and production, and we understand what they are saying is corresponding what we are seeing in the company. And then we look at that. And could be also that it's not corresponding, then we discuss that. This first visit we used 1 to 1.5 days, and as I said, we need to create a way of speaking with the supplier, and we call ourselves the nice guys. This is what we do the first step and to start with. And then we are using as a reference, we use our production system. You see on the right side of the slides, our house with our values and principles and how we do that. That is our reference when we go out to supplier. We also use 5M and SWOT and also the prioritization. What's in it for the supplier? Yes, of course, there's a lot of things, but as I said, it needs to be accepted or committed first of all. But they got a good cooperation and partnership with Scania, of course. We are helping them with long-term improvement and development, and also that will give them competitiveness. We go through and improve their processes and help them with that. And finally, it will be a cost reduction or a higher capacity or something else, speedier delivery, whatever. We as in our group, we see ourselves as consultant, and working with the supplier, we do for free. They don't need to pay for when we are there at the supplier or when we are not there. What do they get then? They will have practical training in different methods and way of doing or tools. They will mostly get leadership training and management by coaching and training. As I told you before, we are experienced managers, and that is a big part of what you are giving away from ourselves. Working with long-term support, naturally, from idea to implementation. And also the supplier will have access to not only the 4 of us or the supplier development people, they will also have access to other people at Scania, expert in different areas. And that we can do because we have a big network. We have a historically long time at Scania working. So we know people and we can find who can be useful for that supplier. We have a couple of items, examples where we have made success. And here you can see 4 of them. We have one supplier where we have been working with organizational changes. We also improved their delivery and a lot of deviation that they had. And this company, we make them able to go from running 3 shifts to 1 shift. And that is a very, very big and good improvement. We also have another supplier, the supplier B here, which we have working with SMED. And SMED is a method, and it stands for single minute exchange of dies. That is a way of doing to reduce changeover time between different part numbers. And there we reduced it by about 50%. So that means that they can run more production or change over between the types in a more quicker way. We have the supplier C, where we work with reducing the cycle time in their process, and this case was assembly, and that gave them a good cost optimization for improvement. And the fourth supplier, Supplier D, where we worked all the way through with 24 months, where we made a full implementation of a lot of tools and working with a management group and to make them competitive. 4 different examples of success. When we come to a supplier, when we speak with the suppliers, we don't want them to copy our way of doing, our production system. We use that as a reference. We only want them to get inspired with our way of doing, our experience, to make them do their own way of doing, way of working. Hopefully they will make maybe a production system, but a smaller company may not afford that. But they need to have methods and tools and a system where it consists of a whole picture. We speak about the hardware, which means the values, the principle, the method, which will give a good result. But we also speak about the people, which has values and attitude and behavior, which will give some kind of impact for the people. And if you mix them together, you will get a full result. But still, this is something for the supplier to work with and the management to work with at the supplier. We only coach them to do this job. What is the prerequisite for a successful result? Yeah, as I told you before, but I will repeat it now, we need to have clear purpose and goal. We need to have a commitment together with the supplier, and also naturally in our own company, Scania. We need to have the mutual trust together with the supplier, and transparency, of course. And together with that, a dialogue always. And this will be a good result. And a lot of suppliers are very keen on us coming there. We offer experience. We offer all these ingredients that we have with us. And as you understand, we have not only read the book, we have done the job, and we have also done mistakes that we speak about, to show that we are not perfect in all sense. We've done mistakes and learning by that as well. And as I said, we need to be honest, and we call ourselves the nice guys. And you know, working together gives result. And all this work is kind of a team sport. Even if it's an external company, we need to get this team to work together. And we need to understand each other. So this was the description of supplier development and how Scania is doing. And we have a way of doing this, which we will continue to improve naturally. This is in our veins to do that. So thank you very much for listening, and hope that you will take this material and use it in a way so you will get better suppliers. Thank you very much.